What's up, guys? I'm so excited about this episode. Of course, this is number 2 in my track driving series, and as you guys know, I'm totally addicted to it. So we're going to be talking about David Murray track events and how to get involved in them, and more importantly, how they're different than a standard PCA event that I normally go to. This one today is a very big treat for me. So as you can tell, I'm super hyped, and you might be noticing I'm not in my Porsche, I'm in my truck, and the reason why is I'm driving to the airport and I'm gonna hop on a plane and meet my car. Now, yesterday, I dropped the car off at Speed Sport Tuning, and Spencer and his guys packed it all up, and they're driving it down to VIR. I'm getting on a plane, and I'm gonna meet the car there. Lots more to talk about. I'm super excited. I hope you guys like this stuff. That and a lot more coming up on this episode. Stay tuned. Well, guys, we made it down to VIR, and it is as spectacular as everybody says it is. Now, what's really cool about this place is you have everything in one area. Virginia International Raceway offers goat kart tracks and off-road tactical driving schools used by law enforcement, several branches of the military, including the Navy SEALs. And these amenities are offered at VIR to David Murray participants when the track is cold. Plus, possibly one of the best tracks in the entire world, right at your front door. In about 10 minutes or so, we have the drivers meeting down there in that building where we're going to talk with David Murray.
My name is David Murray. I'm running David Murray Track Days. I drove a lot of things for the factory, Porsche, Lotus, and BMW. And so as those days are winding down, it's time for me to think about the rest of my career and giving back something to racing. We have a lot of ways to start in the sport. If you've never done anything before, you can go to PCA racing, you've got Chin Motorsports, a lot of these great driver ed groups. But once you've done that for a while, then there has to be a ladder to move on and gain more knowledge and more experience. Where does it stop? And so that's where we pick up for those guys that have done driver ed and want to move on. And our participants range anywhere from a good, competent driver ed guy to a pro racer coming to test their race car. Obviously, our group is not here solely for testing, so we have rules of passing. Okay, we can't pass on the corners at will, but it's a step up from the normal DE that we can pass anywhere on the track. No point by us necessary, which means just point the car behind you by, let them know that yes, I'm ready for you to pass me. On the straightaway, there's no requirement for that. On the corners, there are. So we still try to run a safe environment. It's not a race. We're not trying to compete with each other. We're trying to get the most out of ourselves in the car.
Once my car was unloaded from the race trailer, I removed any items from the car, much the same as a regular DE day. However, in this case, I packed the Porsche full of my bags so I didn't have to check them or carry them on the plane. Once emptied, the Speed Sport Tuning crew takes over the pre-track preparations while I sign in and join the driver's meeting. All right, so we're getting the car set up right now. It's a little early. We're gonna head into registration like we did before with the DE day, the normal or standard DE day. We still got to go in on this, David Murray day to sign in and get stickers and just make sure everybody knows that everybody's here and that sort of thing. So same sort of morning like it was before. The afternoon might be a little different though. Although the sign-in process is exactly the same as a beginner DE day, the driver's meeting, however, was quite different. It was short and sweet, and their message was very simple. We, the drivers, are responsible for each other on the track and the success of the weekend overall. David Murray's parting words were to have fun, be safe, and most importantly, take care of each other out there, which was encouraging to me, especially it being my first event with the group. So this means you can go out on track with pros and advanced drivers for as much or as little time as you desire. And it's what motivated me over the last 3 years to move from novice to intermediate and eventually to advanced, so I could join this unofficial club and learn to develop speed as they did. Breakfast, time to get some food.
At Speed Sport Tuning, we offer a full arrive and drive package where we'll store your car, we'll bring it to the track for you, and take care of your setup, your driver's coaching, and any needs as far as hospitality and logistics.
Got our TV to play back any in-car footage. You got snacks, you got food, you got the man. I don't know what else. As Spencer and I suit up for the first session of the day, I was so excited I wasn't quite sure what to do with myself. You see, most kids dream about being an astronaut or a quarterback or even a baseball player. I wanted to be a race car driver, so to get a glimpse of what it must feel like was a special moment for me. While the tracks may be different from week to week, the same pro or serious vibe is always there at a David Murray track day. And for me, I learn best in these unique environments. I'm going out with Spencer right now. He's been here 1,000 times. I've never been here, so it's always a good idea to go with someone before I hop in my car. And here you go. This is Spencer's race car, so it should be pretty exciting. After 10 or 15 laps, Spencer pulls into the pits to get a tire pressure reading, while David Murray asked me a few thought-provoking questions about how Spencer's setup felt and about the best way to learn the racing line when sitting in the right seat. What's amazing is that every driver at the event gets access to 30 years of pro driver mentoring in David Murray, which is pretty special. It's kind of like having Derek Jeter teach you how to play shortstop. His advice can shave off years of mistakes and even 3 or 4 seconds a lap. No, you sit there and you watch YouTube all day long and watch a bunch of, guys racing and what have you, and you can pretty much get an idea of the track, but you can't really get the lines, I don't think. And when you go with someone like Spencer, when you're in the car and he's literally pointing, okay, hit here, this is a V, this is all this kind of stuff, it definitely helps out. So I'm going to take about a 10-minute break, get some water because I'm absolutely soaked, and head out on my car and try to not mess it up. Now I totally know what they're talking about when it comes to VIR. This is unbelievable. Like any competitive male, you want to do the best you possibly can, but it's very hard to find the lines. And mind you, I'm out there with like cup cars and like Indy Light cars or whatever they are. I mean, they're whipping past me.
One of the things that separates us from particularly the other HPDE groups is I'm here to look at your video and data. Tell them, bring me your data, bring me your video. I can look at it in the classroom. Every time you want to come out of the car, it doesn't matter. We do 14 hours of track time over 2 days. So there's never a wait. You bring me your video, bring me your data, and I can analyze that and give you specifics of, well, you can brake a few feet later here. You need to be at this angle, 3 degrees, turn more this direction, whatever it is. And that's that next level of driving as opposed to just, okay, turn in here, apex here, exit here.
normally do it is if I don't know the track, I try to go with someone who's the pro, hence Spencer. Then I like to go with myself to kind of get my nerves out. Now I'm a little more focused, and now I'll have Spencer right seat, I'll be driving, and then he will say, okay, you can brake a little more here, turn in here, etc., etc. That's kind of like my, just the way that I think about approaching a new track when you don't know it. These are the steps just to be safe, so that's what we're gonna do now. After my one-on-one session with David, I realized where I was losing speed and how I could drastically cut my lap times. Spencer came with me to reinforce David's assessment. There's so much happening in the car, in your head, on the track ahead of you, and behind you that it can be a lot of information to process quickly. So having a pro sit next to you right seat can help you focus and execute your new game plan. After a 30-minute session, Spencer dissected one of the most common areas for improvement when honing your racing skills. And that, of course, is braking.
This is theory for you to understand, but you might have 1,500 PSI of pedal pressure, brake pressure, at 130 miles an hour.
As I came to understand it better, the key to braking is slowly releasing off the pedal. You see, the brake pedal pressure has to decrease at the same rate as the speed of your car in order to maintain threshold braking. The trick, however, is to consistently find that balance. The later you brake and the more control you have slowing down your car at the last moment will set you up for the apex, give you the best gains per corner, and of course, translating to faster overall times. It is said that in all forms of racing, the driver that is better in the braking zone usually is the same driver on the podium. Filming this video, I experienced exactly why track support is so beneficial. This Cup car had a minor accident after going off the track and blew his front left radiator.
Right there. All right, let's put antifreeze in it.
He didn't have any.
No, it should have at least a half a gallon to lubricate the water pump and to keep this, got rust inhibitor in it.
Normally, this is enough to cause you to pack up and go home for the weekend, losing your track time, insurance, and hotels. But after removing the front end and unbolting the cracked radiator, Spencer, to my surprise, had a replacement radiator in the race trailer. With a few more minutes of assembly and reinstallation, the Cup car was back on the track and not in his trailer on the way home. On day 2, my confidence rose. When sitting with David Murray, something just clicked. His experience is evident in the way that he explains every aspect of racing. If you didn't know by now, David Murray is a race car legend. As one of only a handful of American-born Porsche factory drivers, he drove the LMP1 car at Le Mans and won the Firehawk and World Challenge for Porsche. In fact, he's raced in almost every type of car, including NASCAR, and stood on the podium countless times, including twice at Le Mans and over a dozen times at Daytona and Sebring. So to have him help me and other drivers improve our skills at his events is ridiculously cool and why these days are so popular. After spending some time with him, it's not surprising to me, but he's known in the racing community as one of the good guys in motorsports, and I wholeheartedly agree. As the second day came to a close, I had dropped 4 seconds off my previous day's laps, and the cars that were once right behind me had a bit more work to do to get around me, all because of David and Spencer. As the guys loaded the cars back on the trailer for the trip home, I began to realize how much I had learned and how much track time I had had over 2 days. It would have been equivalent to 5, 6, or even 7 normal DE track events. So the travel and the entry fee of $6.99 for 14 hours of open track and one-on-one instruction with a racing legend was well worth the trip. But remember, David Murray track days are for the advanced drivers only, so visit davidmurray.com for a complete schedule of upcoming events. Well guys, that's it for the David Murray track day at VIR. As you can see back there, it's just about to rain and we're almost done with the day, so everything went perfectly. Now I have to tell you, in all honesty, this was the most fun I've had in any vehicles, and I say any vehicles because I was in the Ariel Atom getting that was incredible. I was in this with Spencer, and the right seat, the left seat in Spencer's car. So the point is, we got a lot of training, a lot of education when it comes to driving and controlling a car. And of course, David Murray looked at my track footage and then gave me and critiqued me and gave me all this information. Huge thank you to David Murray at davidmurray.com, of course, and to Speed Sport Tuning, Spencer Cox, for carrying the car and doing all the track support. This has been the most fun I've ever had. If you have any questions, guys, shoot me an email at larry@ammonyc.com. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.